What happens when you put somebody in front of a group of kids and ask them to talk about what they do? Well, if that somebody is an engineer, it is quite likely, unfortunately, that they will feel a little bit shy, that they will talk about their job title, and that they will give some technical details of the job that they do, or possibly explain the industry that they're in and talk a little bit about the computer program that they use. The more skilled the volunteer, the more they will take a step back from those technical details and explain, so you might be familiar with a snowblower or a smartphone or a school bus or a water tap. Insert object here that kids are already familiar with, and then work your way backwards to what you do. That is one of the first principles that we teach our volunteers of Engineers of Tomorrow. And Engineers of Tomorrow is a group of volunteers. We call them ambassadors for the profession, because when they go into classrooms in their local communities and other places where you find young people, they tell stories about what they do that are effective, strategic, accessible, and they literally have the opportunity to change the course of someone's life by giving them the memo about engineering and letting them know what it could mean for them. Now, that said, our volunteers are not just about trying to recruit engineers. We even say that is not our success metric at all. It's great if that happens, and we love it when we have those stories of engineering students who say, hey, I was at one of your workshops, or I did this outreach camp and that's what influenced me. We absolutely love those stories because we think that's a great example of getting the memo at the right time. They found something within themselves that said, yes, this is for me, and they chose it. Wonderful. However, we don't say that that is our metric of success. Really what we want to see is a whole classroom or a whole youth group full of people, full of kids who get it, who can say, yeah, I know what engineering is. I understand what it is. It helps me. It has an impact on me. It is all around me. And so they grow up with that basic comfort level and that basic scientific literacy, technological literacy, that is an absolute must for today's world. We really want to have a generation of critical thinkers, a generation of problem solvers, a generation of innovative thinkers who can really look at, okay, well, what's the problem here and how can we solve it? Cheaper, faster, better, less pollution. It's not just about building a better engine or a faster sports car anymore. It's about how can we get people from here to there in a completely different way. And these are the sorts of game-changing types of thoughts that we love to bring to the next generation and use these as examples. This is what the Engineers of Tomorrow are going to be doing. There's a long, long list of problems that engineers of today and yesterday have already solved, and the Engineers of Tomorrow are going to have way bigger, more complex, more interesting challenges for the foundation that's been laid by the profession before them. So I would love to hear your thoughts, whether you are an engineer or someone who opted into another profession. I would love to hear your thoughts on what engineering is, what it means to you, and why it matters.